Nando Parrado, The Miracle of the Andes. On October 13, 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 lifted into the skies carrying 45 passengers, a rugby team, their friends, and their families. They were young, excited, and full of life. Among them was a 23-year-old Nando Parrado, traveling with his mother, Eugenia, and his younger sister, Susana. The team joked, laughed, and took pictures, unaware that the next few minutes would pull them into one of the greatest survival stories in human history. As the plane approached the Andes Mountains, weather conditions worsened. Clouds hid the peaks, and the navigation became dangerously inaccurate. Believing they had already crossed the highest point, the pilots descended. But they were still deep inside the mountain range. Suddenly, a violent shaking tore through the aircraft. A deafening sound followed. The belly of the plane scraped against a mountain ridge, chopping off both wings. People screamed as the fuselage tore apart in mid-air. In a terrifying slide, the main body of the aircraft plunged down to a snowy slope, like a bullet shot into a white desert, until it finally slammed to a stop. Silence, white, cold, confusion. Many had died instantly. Others were badly injured. Nando was unconscious, his head severely wounded. His mother had died in the crash. His sister was critically hurt. For 3 full days, Nando lay in a coma. When he finally opened his eyes, he saw only white snow, broken metal, and the exhausted faces of his friends. The realization hit him. He was in the middle of Andes. No rescue, no food, no heat, no hope. The survivors tried to stay alive in temperatures that dropped to negative 30 degrees at night. They almost wrapped themselves in aircraft seats, plastic, anything they could find. Food was almost nothing. Some chocolate bars, a few bottles of wine, and scraps from passengers' bags. Within days, the food was gone. Hunger became a knife twisting in their stomachs. Their bodies weakened, their minds darkened. The men argued, cried, prayed, and sometimes sat in silence, staring at the endless mountains. But the most difficult decision was yet to come. To survive, they would have to eat the frozen bodies of their dead friends. It was moral pain beyond imagination. Many refused at first. Some cried, some prayed, but eventually the reality became clear. Eat or die. And so, with trembling hands and broken hearts, they chose life. Just when they rebuilt their hope, another disaster struck. One night, a massive avalanche roared down the mountain and buried the entire fuselage. 8 people died instantly under the crushing snow, including some of the strongest survivors. Nando and the others fought for hours, digging through ice with bleeding hands, nearly suffocating themselves. Mountain seemed determined to kill them. Weeks passed and rescue teams searched but found nothing. Then came the moment that shattered every last piece of hope. A small radio they recovered crackled with a devastating broadcast. The search for the missing plane from Uruguay has been called off. They sat in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. They were officially dead to the world. But Nando felt something ignite inside him. Not despair, but instead determination. Nando had lost everything. His mother, his sister, even his old life. He had one thing left. Purpose. He stood before the others and said, "We are not dying here. I will cross these mountains and get help." His best friend, Roberto Canessa, strong and stubborn, agreed to join him. They trained by walking outside the fuselage each day, strengthening their frozen legs. They saved tiny amounts of food for their journey. They built a sleeping bag out of plain insulation. They watched the mountain shadows to understand direction. And then, after 2 months in the Andes, they began to climb. The trek was brutal. The snow was waist deep. Their feet sank and froze. They could even barely breathe in the thin air. They climbed steep slopes while the wind screamed against their faces. At night, they slept squeezed into their tiny homemade sleeping bag, praying they wouldn't freeze to death. One morning, they reached a ridge and saw something that destroyed their spirits. More mountains, endless mountains, not a single sign of life. But Nando refused to turn back. He told Roberto, "I am going on. My mother and sister did not die for nothing." His willpower dragged them forward step by step until on the 10th day, something changed. They walked down a slope and suddenly saw something that made them cry. Green, grass, flowing water, and especially life. They had left the death zone. At a riverbank, they saw a man on a horse across the rushing water. Nando waved his arms desperately. The man couldn't hear their shouts, but he understood their gestures. He threw a piece of paper tied to a stone. He wrote, "We come from a plane that crashed in the mountains. We need help." He threw it back. The man nodded and ran away. Nando collapsed. Help was coming. The next morning, helicopters soared into the valley. The rescuers were shocked. Everyone believed the passengers had died long ago. When they reached the crash site, they found 16 survivors still alive. After 72 days in the Andes, after losing friends, after starvation, avalanches, and unimaginable suffering, they were finally saved. Nando was the last person to leave the mountain. Nando Parrado lost his mother and sister, but he carried their love with him for the rest of his life. His courage, leadership, and unbreakable spirit saved 15 other people. He later said, "I died in the Andes, but I was reborn there too." Today, Nando is a motivational speaker, writer, and symbol of human resilience. His story is a reminder that even when every light goes out, the human spirit can still rise.